Commence primary ignition.
Hi, this is author Timothy Zahn. You're listening to Virtual Cantina Network.
Tim is so cool.
He is.
So
When you write that good of content, you're just bad.
you're just bad. The best way. Welcome, citizens. How are you?
Happy Monday.
I'm holding it together.
Poor Skip. I'm honestly like, I thought you were going to be like, okay, I just need a nap so bad right now.
I was like, oh, no, we get home. Well, I was supposed to actually get home around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and we managed to get a flight into Asheville at 12, which allowed me to get back to town and do a little work. So I did have a semi-work day today, and just had a glorious weekend.
Excellent. Yeah, Skip is back from Disney. All right, so Skip, tell everyone who all went with you, what attractions you saw, all that kind of good stuff as people are joining. And just for everyone in the chat, tonight we're doing season 1, episode 10 of Clone Wars. I know, can you believe we're 10 episodes in already?
10 episodes.
We're going to do our watch along. We're going to talk about Skip's trip to Disney. We're going to talk a little bit of Star Wars news, a couple of weird breaking news item today. That's a weird one. And then we've got some Skeleton Crew review to talk about because we were on air last week before the show came out. So we got to talk about that. All right, so Skip, take it away.
Yeah.
So yes, it was the whole family. We have Bridget and I have 3 children between the two of us. Let's see, there we got 3. We've got I have a daughter. She's the youngest. She's 24, and then we have Ryan, the middle child, who is 30, and then the eldest is Jacob, and he is 33. He is married, and his wife Amanda came with us, and then Ryan's fiance Marissa came with us, and then my daughter Avery, her good friend Bailey came with us, and then it was Bridget and I, and then we met up with the Notmans because the Notmans are like the professional tour guides of the two.
The governor.
Yeah, the governor. He was so bummed that he got there on what was it? Yeah, got there on Sunday, right after we had done Pirates of the Caribbean, because he's a big pirate fan.
Oh yeah. Oh.
But we had I rack stacked and packed this vacation and wore out all the younglings.
Yeah.
We got there on Thursday night and had dinner at Boma's, in the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Oh, it's so good there.
Oh, it is. And then we got up on Friday. We started out with I think we left around 9 o'clock, and we went to Animal Kingdom, and we did Avatar and the flying one, the dinosaur movie or dinosaur ride,
which is closing soon. So
that was the conversation.
2025, so we'll get at least one more year of dinosaur.
Yeah, it's a little too like Pirates of the Caribbean has that. What did somebody say to me? That what's the Chuck E. Cheese animation?
Yeah, I agree. you see it coming.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, when Chuck E. Cheese has got better animation than they do, it's time to, pump the reset button.
It's time.
But then we ran over to Epcot and hit Guardians, Soaring, Ratatouille. My daughter and her friend got our Ratatouille ears. They love that.
Oh, cute.
And then we had Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party.
How was that? I haven't been during the holidays, so I don't know.
it was kind of nice going through because now we're into like real serious Christmas time. So hearing Christmas music being played in the park was just fine. A little different in each different area that you went to, but so we went to that, and you had they give you a map, and you went around to different areas, and you got a free cookie and either hot chocolate or eggnog, depending on which one you went.
Ooh.
One of the middle child and his fiance Ryan, they went and found, I think there were 16 printed locations, and then he found 2 that were like hidden ones that you had to go find those.
Oh, wow. So they did like a hot chocolate scavenger hunt.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Hot chocolate and cookie, and then as Dave said, the parade.
And Dave says, "I want to see the Christmas parade."
Yeah, got Mickey and Minnie and all kinds of Disney characters doing the parade, and ends with Santa Claus. And they run that parade twice, so you can either see it on the early side of it or you can see it in the late side of it. And then, of course, things thin out, and it is free for all. I know that Amanda was, I forget what, she was riding something. I forget what the name of the ride was. And she was the last person to get to ride it. She was the last group of people. She should have and was back at that hotel at 1:30. Now, I am again being 56 and tired from going since 9 o'clock in the morning, and this was now 11 o'clock at night. I've been doing. I had put in 14 hours of Disney entertainment.
You're a trooper, dude.
At my hotel room, which my wife had already beat me to it and was crashed, and so I got to bed about probably about 11:30, and then they decided that we needed a little fire drill. And the fire alarm went off in the hotel, and we all had to evacuate the hotel.
Oh.
40? Did I say 46 degrees in Orlando? And
wow,
sweet chilly.
Hi, Sherry.
We're standing outside. Are they going to let us back in soon? But finally got back in and got some decent sleep. But Saturday was, of course, all about Skip because we went to Hollywood Studios. The first ride of the day was Rise of the Resistance. So, which all the kids were like, "This is pretty cool," I was like,
so they had never been on it before.
None of them had been in Rise yet, so it was their first time. I was with a bunch of newbies, except for well, actually, no, Bridget came later in the day.
I would have laughed and set them up and be like, "Okay, now you have to find the key to get out of here." They could do like a scavenger hunt.
They were all for it. If I had said that was the case, they'd have been looking immediately. They were just
It's tense. It's very tense.
well, Avery's friend Bailey had never been to Disney World at all.
Oh, that's cool.
And Amanda hadn't been there since she was in high school. She was there. I'm not going to say how old she is because I'm going to be wrong, and then I will be in big trouble. And
Okay.
but now Ryan and his fiance are aficionados. They'd actually been to the Japan one. They went to that earlier this year.
Really?
Yeah. And
they can give you tips for celebration.
Oh yeah, well, I was going to take the middle child Ryan, to help navigate because he was stationed in Japan in the Navy for a few years there.
Oh wow.
Okay.
But yeah, people in their 30s who have never been to Batu. Yes, Sarah, that absolutely was what I was dealing with. And then I took them over and let them run through Smuggler's Run, which they like that. We got some blue milk. And then the governor got there, and we got out we went and did Star Tours. We went outside of Batu and did Star Tours and got there. It's funny because I'm the one that has the motion sickness problem, but I had a little dot behind my ear, the dopamine patch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that did wonders. I wrote everything. I was like,
I thought those were tremendous.
They are. Oh my gosh, they so are.
And I had some what's the dissolvable pill?
Dramamine?
No.
They make those.
Girlfriend?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the hardcore stuff. I was on a mission to do whatever I wanted to do and not get sick.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. That's amazing. I had to do that.
I was telling some folks today, I said, Disney does this entertainment thing like nobody else does. We're at a hotel that is owned and run by Disney called the Riviera. And there's a restaurant on top of it. I'm going to get the name wrong. It was Topolino's at Topolino, something like that. And so we get there we get seated right before the fireworks start at Epcot, which is probably, by my guess, about 7 or 8 miles as the crow flies. But you could go out onto the patio because we're on the top floor and you could see out the windows, but you could go out there and watch the fireworks. And they had that, the fireworks has a narration to it at Epcot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, on top of this restaurant, they got a speaker that has that narration.
Oh,
So you're
that's
literally
awesome.
watching this from 7 miles away, but you're listening to the same stuff that they're listening to.
Oh,
at
that's
Epcot.
killer. That's
So
so
yeah,
cool.
that was another cool one. And then we hit Magic Kingdom on Sunday like a beast. We were on all kinds of stuff. We were on, let's see, I didn't get on the Rock and Roller Coaster, but my kids did.
Love it.
Also changing theming soon. I don't want to say closing, but it
Yeah,
will be the
rebranding.
Muppets apparently.
Which
Yeah,
I think is really cool. Like if you're not gonna go with an actual band, Electric Mayhem is the next best thing. Honestly, it's
So
timeless.
Quick
then let's see,
sidebar on that. Do you guys remember when, I forget what show it was? They had the Muppets, the band, and Janice is doing like a fake interview with Howard Stern,
Yeah.
talking about how she has it. I forget. It's like a fake behind the music, and she talks about how she has hepatitis. But they're like making fun of Pam Anderson from back in the day, who now is a national treasure and always was. But it's this thing with Janice, and she's like,
Was
"I'm
it
dying,
Muppets
Howard. I'm
Tonight?
dying." No, this was like not an officially
Oh,
sanctioned license, etc. But Google the Janice "I'm dying, Howard," because Jason and I say that to each other to this day. I'm dying, Howard. Making fun of the Janice thing from the Muppets. Yeah, it's such a deep cut part of my own lexicon here in
Yeah.
this apartment. So when that got rebranded, that roller coaster, we were just like yelling. We've been yelling at each other for days. I'm dying, Howard. I'm dying, Howard.
I'm just
And I can't
gonna
even remember the original reference. It's that far back.
I'm just gonna see Jason walk by the back of your screen and just go, "I'm dying,
I'm
Howard."
dying, Howard. So stupid.
But
Oh,
yeah,
I
we hit
know. Those
we
are the
hit
best inside jokes.
the girls hit Haunted Mansion.
Love it.
They what else did we do? I mean, we're hitting all the big rides. And then about 3 o'clock, I decided I want to go back to Hollywood Studios because I want to go into Batu while the lights are all on and it's all dark outside. And
It's so
I,
pretty.
so I turned the keys to the car over to Jonathan, and he took my kids over to got them on a couple rides inside of Magic Kingdom, and then took them over to Epcot, and they did Guardians again and Soaring, and then they did some shopping, and that was kind of the end of it. But I was over there, so I'm like, when I first get to Batu, I looked at the line, the wait line for Rise, and it was like 50 minutes, and I was like, I'll walk around a little bit, in an hour or two.
You could always do single rider too.
Yeah, well, the problem is that Magic Kingdom had kicked everybody out because they were having another Very Merry Christmas party.
Oh.
And they all decided, for whatever reason, to come over to Hollywood Studios because I was in the rest of. Actually, I should take it back. They decided all to come to Galaxy's. What? Yeah. Say that 10 times. How about just go back to Batu? So they, because Batu was full and the line count was getting higher. So I was like, screw it. I'm going to buy a single Lightning Lane pass, and I'm going to get on one more time. It's just me. It's not the whole family. It's not that bad. And I walk up, and I'm sorry, folks. We're having a technical difficulty. We won't know when the ride will be up. We can't tell you when.
Damn it, Kylo.
And I was like, son of a biscuit. So I went over to Docking Bay 7 and grabbed me some falafel, yum yum, and sat around in there and just absorbed the atmosphere of that wonderful creation that they've made over there. And then I went back, and sure enough, right as I got there, there was like a little buzz, and then all of a sudden you saw them pull the chains down and start letting people in. So
nice.
It was great. It was a great weekend. Got up this morning, got on an airplane. Got home, and I'm so looking forward to going to bed tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a good time. It was that was, yes. I'm just now looking up and seeing Dave say, right, Zofran. Yes, it was Zofran.
I just put in the chat real quick that clip. It's Robot Chicken because of course it is.
Of course it's Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
Skip posted a video of him on the Light Cycle Run, the Tron ride at Magic Kingdom. I've been dying to get on that. That's probably the newest ride that I haven't ridden yet.
I was going to say that's within the past 3 months that ride has gone live,
Yeah.
right? Because Guardians of the Galaxy is now about a year old. That's one of the newer ones as well.
No, Guardians is about 2 years old.
2 years old?
I met Jamie on it in October of 2022.
No.
Like, I met Jamie in person. That was our first time we met when
That's
I got off
crazy.
Guardians. She met me at the exit of Guardians, like right underneath the
amazing.
Nova Corps ship. So
I was there in the rain last year at Spencer's birthday party we were having down
That was a
down-
year ago, basically.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we had to buy ponchos, and it was raining, and they had reservations at some Japanese sushi place over in the Japan portion of Epcot.
Oh, it's so good there, though.
And I looked at Jonathan and I said, I'm going back to the hotel. I am soaking as wet, and I am not having fun anymore. I'm out of here. Bridget and I were together, and we just like huffed it. Got on a bus, and then by the time we got back, it was like, okay, take a cold shower before the flu sets in or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Oh, Dave says Tron has been around a good while, probably about less than a year, but has been virtual queue only until recently.
Yeah, just released just a couple weeks ago from
That's cool.
from virtual queue. So you could buy a Lightning Lane pass. And for those of you who don't know, if you buy Lightning Lane passes, you get for free, included in that price, is the ride pictures.
Oh, that's really
nice.
cool. I mean,
It's
it's
actually a
kind
pretty
of
good benefit.
Yeah, and
price.
ask me why I knew this.
Because you got that video on there.
Yeah. So I had, we were getting all our pictures and so forth. It's funny how sometimes the computer would go, "Oh, that's Amanda. She belongs over here with the Ruckles." And I'd look at it and I go, "That looks like Amanda, but I can tell you that's not Amanda." So I don't want to. But
I
yeah,
don't know you.
I was talking about this earlier. Is that they? I had to call them because I had the pictures. I went into Batu and I got one of the ladies to take pictures of me in front of the blue and white X-wing. That's right near Rise, and so she was taking the pictures, and she, got the what is it, Porg Magic? Is that what they call it? Where they put something in the picture that wasn't there. So there's two X-wings flying across the sky in one of my shots.
Oh, that's cool.
But when I opened up my photo pass, they all had the watermark on it, and none of the ride ones did. And so I had to call them up, and I said, "Okay, we fixed it. It was easy enough. The activation button was on my wife's account and not mine, so she moved it over to my account, and then I could activate the pictures."
Okay.
And I was like, "Well, why aren't these?" And she goes, "Oh, you had Lightning Lane passes, so every time you got a picture, you got the pictures for free." I was like, "Oh, cool." So for those of you that don't know, a little knowledge, little behind the scenes magic of Disney World's Photo Pass, the ugly secrets behind Photo Pass.
And look, we will do comprehensive wraparound content exploration of all of this, going to Disney when we plan our next vacation and when the next celebration happens, because you have to assume 2027 50th anniversary, they're coming back to Orlando. We're going to need every tip and trick and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
When that happens. I have not been recently, as proven by the fact that I didn't realize Tron opened over 2 years ago. Or not over 2 years ago, but a year and a half ago. It'll be coming up on 2 years in April.
April 4th, 2023.
That's crazy. Like, I thought the thing opened weeks ago. Truly, it feels like it was also in development forever. So you lose track of like when is it really open. But the parks are changing at an accelerated rate, and I got to tell you, Universal, given their investment in their new Epic Universe and everything, Disney is now, as we've seen in the last couple of like major meetings, making huge multi-billion-dollar investments into the parks, especially down in Orlando, where they're building out that Villains Land and they're removing Tom Sawyer and all that other kind of stuff. Like, it's going to be kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad about Muppets 4D, but because I love that ride. Like, that was one of the first rides I did in Hollywood Studios when I was 17. So it's my first trip.
It is mind-blowing. It is confounding to me how Disney doesn't understand how to make the Muppets work. Like, the Muppets are so timeless because they're both sincere and snarky. They're immediately recognizable. People of all ages actually love them, and they know how to interact with them in real life. Like, you can bring the puppeteer who does Kermit onto the Tonight Show and interview Kermit, and Jimmy Fallon or whoever will just talk to the thing like it's a real person, and we all just fucking play along. Like, we're all in this fantasy together, this like lip sync extravaganza.
If you watched Muppet Christmas Carol and Muppet Treasure Island, Tim Curry and Michael Caine, the only reason why those movies are as classic and beloved as possible is because those two guys play it like a heart attack, like super serious. And they treat the Muppets like they're actors.
Yeah.
They're fellow actors because they are.
And
And that's why it makes sense.
I don't
Another
understand.
opportunity for me to say, I was there because I watched the Muppets movie in the movie theater when it first came out.
Ooh,
See,
Yeah.
I know that I watched them on
Nice.
TV because I was obsessed. I loved Miss
me
Piggy.
too.
Loved
Yes.
Miss Piggy. She was my favorite. She was a bad bitch. I knew it then. She
I
was a
like that
gay
she
icon.
karate chops people.
Yeah. Oh, wait, when she breaks the
Yeah.
bars. My favorite thing is when she breaks out of prison and she stretches the bars. And
Yes.
that meme is
Oh my
everywhere now. The thing is,
God.
the Muppets are so memeable. They're such like a
Yeah.
socially relevant brand. But then everything Disney's put out with them has been so vanilla. Like it's the kind of thing where it's like they
Because
didn't
there's no
take.
focus on it.
Well, no one's taking big swings and chances, and I think that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sherry. Yeah, watching Muppet Christmas Carol. Yeah, it's like
My
amazing.
sister's favorite. Oh, Follow
Yeah.
That Bird. One of my
Okay, can
favorite.
we talk about Follow That Bird for a second? We were talking about this at work.
Big
Ms.
Bird in
Gulch.
Japan. Love it.
The villain in Follow That Bird is this like tall bird, Miss Gulch, that basically it's all about segregation. She comes to Sesame Street and is like, "Oh, Big Bird, you shouldn't be living here with all these different types of people. You should go live with your own kind and go live with other birds." And so Big Bird is basically like abducted and taken from Sesame Street,
Which is so
and then ends up on the
sad.
run. At one point, he's dyed blue and put into a circus cage, and then they have to break him out of the cage. And Count Von Count is there, and he's counting the keys like way too loud. It's crazy that I remember this shit, but it's
Madness.
like, yeah, you can like feel the memory like burned in, and then
Yeah.
Big Bird, or I guess Ms. Gulch as well. They all learn at the end of the thing that like diversity is a good thing, right? And
Right.
Sesame Street is a great place for everyone to live together. And like
I
as a
learned-
kid, it's like, oh, how profound, you know?
Yeah. I learned Japanese from Big Bird in Japan.
Yeah,
And
that's
like the
amazing.
daughter of the moon or the moon spirit and
Mhm.
everything and the songs and like Barkley and Big Bird running around Japan and people actually acting like strangers on the street in the middle of Tokyo,
Yeah.
acting with Big Bird. And they all knew exactly who he was and they were helping him find Barkley.
Yeah.
See, my earworm for the Muppets is that banjo playing,
Yeah.
and the sunshine that's shining, and they're
Yeah.
slowly zooming in. You know, I can almost hear Kermit singing that song right now.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's so multi-generational that like someone even 10 years younger than me might be like, "Oh, Muppet Babies," or the
Yeah.
thing that came after
Same.
Muppet Babies.
I love
Like,
Muppet Babies.
yeah, this is why can't they get it right? So
Scooby says
that
we
a-
watch the Muppet Show every Monday night after Clone Wars Revisited, of course. Thanks, Scoob.
meanwhile, scroll up to Sherry's comment from a little bit
Okay.
earlier of how many screens she has going. Girl, she's
wait a
giving me a run. I'm gonna put it up right here.
Yeah,
She's
you
giving
got
me
it.
a run for my money with all these screens. That's what I keep looking at over here. I've got like 17 tabs open over here just to
Yeah.
talk about one thing because I was annoyed by it. Can we segue into what's pissed me off today?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
Right to
we
the
had such
pits
a
off.
great time talking about what Skip loved for the weekend. By the way, I also had a great weekend, so I'm not angry today or anything. But like the Jeremy Allen White news is confounding to me.
Yeah.
I love him. I think he's great. I think that he's
Clone
having
Wars
such a
news.
moment. Yeah, and this is actually like tangential to Clone Wars, right?
We're
So
on
for
the
anyone-
rails.
Yeah, exactly. But also, like, isn't Star Wars off the rails if this is true? So announced today on Deadline, Variety, and a bunch of other places, Jeremy Allen White is supposedly going to be joining the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Which that's a headline in and of itself. If you just stopped right there, be like, oh great, who's he playing? Hopefully some hot guy, right? Like we know what he looks like. He's a
Facts.
great actor. Let's see his face. Let's see him on screen. And then it turns out he's voicing Rhoda the Hutt, whatever, like Jabba the Hutt's child, like who is the not just one of the main characters, but basically the MacGuffin of the Clone Wars movie that I insisted we skip before we started this channel, Sarah Barnes. And I remember Sarah was fighting with me in the comments, being like, "You can't skip this movie." And so the Thursday night watch along, watched that terrible movie. And you know, but here's why I'm angry. Aside
Hold on
from the
one
fact
second.
that, yeah,
Okay.
Jeremy Allen White's new role,
I
next great
love
role
that.
after. I don't know what has happened. Like I really feel like I'm being punked by the galaxy far, far away. Because
Right.
like
It's
he's now a Calvin Klein underwear model, and this is what he's doing with his life.
It's like what they
I-
made George
I think he'd
Clooney
be
the
perfect for
voice
that.
of a dog in South Park.
See, I think he'd be perfect for the Barry Manilow story.
Oh my god, he does look like Barry Manilow. He's got that weird. He's got weird ears too. They're very pointy, and the hair is strange.
He's
But
a
look,
former elf.
he's a great actor.
Yeah.
He
That's Barry
does look
Manilow.
like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he looks just like him.
Wow.
Okay, right. So, all right, Sarah, I'm not going to argue with you about how good or bad the Clone Wars movie is. I don't particularly like it, but
It
you're
was
right
a
that
movie that
Stinky is a
could have been
problem.
an episode.
And that's
Yeah.
part of it. I think like if it was like a 3-part premiere, it'd be like, well, that wasn't great, but it gave us Ahsoka. It introduced Snips and Sky Guy and all this other like, it also like kicked off this whole thing that we're doing, right? So we have to give a
Lori.
lot of credit to it. And so, but here's what grinds my gears. Stinky is a stupid character. Jabba the Hutt is dead. I don't want to see his kid in The Mandalorian and Grogu for any reason. We've already met a bunch of bounty hunters in the Book of Boba Fett, and it was terrible, right?
They
Like
keep
none of that
talking about
went
the
well.
Hutt Syndicate
So,
too.
but yeah, like I don't.
And
There's
we've already
plenty of other
seen
Hutts.
the terrible twins. So
Yeah. So what? So why are we seeing more Hutts? Why are we seeing this? And so I have a problem with the character itself. But then from there, why isn't it David Accord voicing this character? David
Yeah.
Accord has played Stinky and done a bunch of others. And this is why now this comes back to why I have 17 tabs open. David Accord is awesome. Full stop. Go to the Wikipedia and look up David Accord. Just search his name. His last name is Accord. David Accord. He is sound editor, and he's done a bunch of voices on the movies and everything. He's won Emmys. He's been nominated for Academy Awards. He's won a whole bunch of stuff. His most recent sound editing, Mandalorian, Force Awakens, Rebels. And then he's done a ton of Marvel stuff. He did Thor: The Dark World. He did the Clone Wars. He did Captain America: Winter Soldier. He did Guardians of the Galaxy. Lego Star Wars. Like he's done a ton of stuff. He's like super accomplished. And in his voice work, he voices a couple of really interesting things that we had him sign autographs for at Tops. So we plucked I've got too many tabs open. So he voiced Edrio Two Tubes in Rogue One. He voiced Tito in The Force Awakens, which is one of the alien creature guys. And in The Force Awakens,
he's the one that tries to kidnap BB-8. He's the little droid dude, and Rey saves BB-8.
And then the stormtrooper in The Force Awakens who fights Finn, like the FN-2199, the one who's like the riot trooper.
Traitor.
It calls him a traitor. Yeah. David Accord is the one who says traitor. He's the voice actor. So there are like 4 or 5 autograph cards that we did for David Accord in Star Wars when I was there on the brand, and I brought him in to sign. And now to see that he originated this role and will not be doing the voice because we're giving it to some other guy who should be a live action character playing an actual person doesn't make sense to me. And this is why I get angry at Star Wars.
Yeah. I don't understand that either, unless he magically learned how to talk and not sound like a Hutt.
Yeah, is he going to speak basic?
Yeah.
Or are they going to have Jeremy Allen White learn Huttese? What are we doing here?
Again, I right off the get-go, I thought it was a lie. So I posted like a GIF of Saw Gerrera yelling from Clone Wars or Bad Batch, and it was so weird. And then like Variety posted it, and I'm like, oh shit, like this is crazy. But honestly, it's kind of like George Clooney voicing the dog in South Park. It's just like, okay, but this is unnecessary.
Yeah.
But unless they give him basic to speak, I'm just kind of like, okay, why?
Right. If we don't know it's him and he's not speaking basic and you can't see him, it could be me.
Why make a big announcement? I'm just like,
let's do it.
Who gives a flying flip?
Yeah.
Right.
So that's my stack of many questions. One, can the voice actors please get their flowers? Let's start there. And David Accord is an example of that.
And Scooby's got a good point here. He's probably getting big money. And what did we have with the Acolyte? A lot of complaints about how expensive that show was, so they couldn't continue to do it or make it better. So, this is not very economical.
Is he going to do mocap or something? Like, I don't know.
For the slug?
Yeah.
The slugs don't move.
We've all seen the Hutts. They don't move. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. It doesn't make sense.
Spencer just sent us a screenshot of the Variety Instagram, and Amon Esfandi commented on it and says, they grow up so fast. Tear. Never been prouder. So Amon Esfandi, as you know, is Ezra Bridger and Ahsoka. So I Yeah, I guess wait and see. But honestly, I'm with you. Like, let's give
Pointless.
voice actors some flowers and
Yeah.
some
The
recognition.
best part of the Sonic movie is Colleen, who does the voice of Tails, because she's
Yes,
actually a voice actress.
for real. Like, as much as I love Keanu, as much as I love Ben Schwartz,
hmm
like having an original voice actress come back and be Tails is
Yep.
amazing.
Makes much more sense. And believe me, when I first saw the headline, I was very excited. Ooh, Jeremy Allen White. He's
Yeah, what's
having
he
such a
doing?
moment. Also, at the same, okay. So have you heard this? Jeremy Allen White. Who's the guy who's playing Craven the Hunter? It's
Aaron Taylor
Aaron Taylor
Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the meme where it's like Aaron Taylor Johnson is Jeremy Allen White's Wario. Like the two of them just seem to be in this like weirdly swappable but evil version of each other. Have you guys seen that at all? Like,
Yeah.
so
They gave him the hats in the meme that I saw. So
yeah, so it's the kind of thing where, like, of course, Aaron Taylor Johnson should be having the week of his life right now with Craven coming out, and that movie is getting. I don't even know if it's even getting reviews because I don't think screeners have gone out or anything.
I
But look,
haven't
it's
heard
not going to do well.
anything.
It's going to be
Yeah.
bad. So this should be a high point for him. And then who's all over the news this week? Jeremy Allen White. I just think that's funny. So for me, like, but you have to like, there's a lot of steps to get to that joke. Like you have to understand first, like their Wario connectivity right there. But
Dave says, "Why is Sonic still Sonic? Because Keanu Reeves." Okay, Shadow has a motorcycle and
Shadow
he's dark and broody. So
did Sonic 3 come out yet?
no, not yet.
It's soon though, right?
Very soon. I'm very excited because
Yeah.
Keanu.
Yeah. Oh no, he makes sense to me. Like bringing I remember at one point they thought it was going to be Hayden. And then it ended up being Keanu, which I actually think
Yeah,
is a better
I
choice.
heard that rumor bouncing around for a while, but I
Mhm.
guess Hayden was busy with other stuff. Like getting his
Ahsoka
flowers
season
for
2.
being amazing. Yes, Ahsoka season 1, I think at the time.
Yeah,
So
possibly.
it's gonna be fun.
And Sonic's still going. The new game apparently wasn't very good, but because
I just play the classics. It's fun.
yeah, I'm the same way. I've been watching a lot of videos on
I have an
YouTube of like
emulator. I'm
how to
good.
play these old games and stuff, and it unlocks all these secrets. And I'm still learning new stuff from
Yeah.
games that I played 30 years ago. It's wild.
It's so different how like we were like so good at playing these really complicated games that us now as adults struggle to play.
mhm.
Like I was like, I don't remember being this bad at this.
Yeah, Mario 3 is like legit hard.
Oh.
Like Mario World, I breeze through, but Mario 3, there are definitely times. But yeah, all right. So Dave, they have changed Sonic's voice. For the movie, they brought in Ben Schwartz, which I will say
Yes.
he's good. I like
He's
Ben
been
Schwartz.
consistent. He's
He's
fun.
he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
Keanu is Shadow. Idris Elba is Knuckles. Colleen is Tails.
I watched the Knuckles show. It was funny.
I
I
didn't watch it, but I heard good things.
I love Idris Elba as Knuckles. At first, I was like, "Why is this thing? It's Idris Elba," but he's
Yeah.
really hilarious as Knuckles. It just
I
fits.
still think we all missed our big chance. He should have been our James Bond. There was a
Agreed.
moment where he was in the consideration set for immediately after oh my God, Daniel Craig, and
Yeah.
then Daniel Craig did another movie. And there was a really long break, and we had COVID, and we had the strike, and like there was
Yeah.
this like 6-year period. Like the Daniel Craig era of Bond went like 3 years too long, and because of that, we missed the Idris Elba like on ramp for that. Now he's like too famous, too old, right? We needed that 5 years ago, and now we're looking at
We'll find
people.
somebody.
Sarah, we have to play Mario 3. Yes. You probably could kick my butt. I'm good, but I'm not great, and I love that game.
Yeah.
But I'd love to play that game, and I would
Getting
love
attacked by
to
the
lose at that
sun.
game too because it's so fun. It's just a fun game. There's
Yeah.
like so much good stuff to it. Yeah.
And
we gotta play.
also like the stress of the card game. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh yeah.
Scooby says it should get Tom Hanks to voice a grown-up Lumpy. Can you
What are we doing
imagine?
spending this kind of money though? Like, what's the point? Like, I would never say I hope he's getting paid poorly, but I hope they're not spending a ton of money on this. You know what I
hope
mean?
It's like Star Wars hometown discount.
Yeah.
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 Why you couldn't go with a voice actor who specializes in that is going to be good at making the voices
Yeah.
instead of hiring somebody that's a pretty boy, because He gets jobs because he's pretty, not because he can do.
He's the guy of the moment, and
I
the
mean, James
fans
Arnold Taylor.
walk to it.
Who else do we have?
We have
out
so
there
many
that,
people.
you
It's
know,
well, here's the other thing. I wonder if he's trying to make a career shift because here's the thing. After the Calvin Klein ad, people like kept talking about how hot he was, but not how talented he was, despite the fact that he is amazing on the Bear and got Emmy nominated and all that kind of stuff. So I wonder if he's like, I need to do something really different, like hard pivot, right? And
Yeah.
he's like, I want to do a mocap voiceover where you don't even see my body or my face. Like that would be a type of thing that I can imagine.
And
Like
for
the
some
hot guy
people,
not getting taken seriously tells his agent.
right? And Lucasfilm is very like maker friendly, pun
Mhm.
intended. Like they give you you see in all the behind the scenes stuff and all the the roundtable discussions and things of like the actors and the talent learning about how to film all this stuff and how they make all this stuff. And it's the best way to get the hands-on knowledge. So maybe he just kind of wants to pivot towards that a little bit.
It's certainly possible. Meanwhile, I'm looking at the time. I didn't realize we were this far over already. We need to start our episode, which we've not really talked about yet, but we are watching the Clone Wars. We won't see Stinky this episode. Where are we? Star Wars Clone Wars. There we go.
I know you're sad.
No. This is actually a really good episode. After last week, Cloak of Darkness, which I thought was the best we've watched so far of the series. Like 10 is also good.
Yeah.
Everyone
We're
get out
back
your Disney Plus.
Grievous.
Yeah, we're talking Grievous. Let me get up the cards so you can read them, Ashley.
Yeah, I'm just getting the
just when you thought you were done with him, he comes back.
Yeah, the return of Grievous.
Yep.
Hold on.
Lair of Grievous. All right, Skip, do you want to read the summary?
Sure. General Grievous must prove himself worthy of the Separatist when Count Dooku leads Jedi Master Kit Fisto and his former Padawan, the Mon Calamari Jedi, Nahadar, or something to that effect, Nadar Reb, to Grievous' villainous enclave. Yeah, sleep definitely helps me read better.
And then this is the moral for tonight's episode. Most powerful is he who controls his own power, which is not the most, like,
It looks like Yoda wrote it.
Yeah. Aside from being grammatically strange, it's not the most insightful either.
Right.
Either way, this episode is great. I promise you that. So let's jump into Lair of Grievous. Everyone cue up your Disney Plus machine, Season 1, Episode 10. And I'll get ready to hit that countdown. Where's the short countdown? There we go. And go. Okay. There we go. Orchestral fanfare.
There we go. End of the Bombad Jedi trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah. No more Bombad Jedi.
I will say, Jar Jar Binks, for all the shit we give him, got it done that episode.
He did.
He's nothing if not fearless. He's almost so naive that he doesn't know to be anything other than himself, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I'm going to save the day. I was like, you seem useless. And yet here we are.
But to be fair, like the other, in Phantom Menace, that Jar Jar would have ran for his life, been terrified. But this Jar Jar just, like, clowns his way into greatness. So it works out.
He sure does.
He's like, I saved the day once, I'm going to do it again. And it's fine.
What's the opposite of a character assassination? Because that's what happens to Jar Jar in the Clone Wars. He becomes it's a glow up in a way that, like, I know there's a phrase for it where they just completely rehabilitate him.
Yeah, it's character
like, rehabilitation. He takes on Mother Talzin in another episode. Like
that one, I watched it and I was like, "Is this really happening?" But we'll get to that.
Especially
because
that's the episode she has the blade, right? The fiery sword. And I was like, "That's a good one."
The blade of Talzin, like the literal blade of Talzin that you see Morgan Elsbeth wield in Ahsoka. She fights Jar Jar with that thing, you guys. It's crazy.
Yeah, Jar Jar lives.
Jar Jar lives.
Jar Jar lives.
That's because
He's a
he's
Sith Lord.
yeah. I was gonna say he's dark Jar Jar.
She
Darth Jar
recognized
Jar
me.
lives. That's how he became Darth Jar Jar. He took that sword. It was like slice, slice, slice.
Oh, he took a little
Um,
lesson from Sidious and put on a face that nobody would think that he was a Darth Sid,
Oh.
He's actually Darth Plagueis the whole time.
oh my
There you
God.
go. That's the tragedy of Darth Plagueis. He's been hiding right in front of us.
So we have
And
Kit
Okay.
Fisto. We don't get
now
to
we
see
have an
Kit Fisto
impatient
much.
calamari.
Yep.
He's
I
cute
forgot to-
though.
I forgot to pull up the IMDb on the. I had so many tabs open for David Accord to go through my rant that I forgot to pull up this
Soapbox
episode.
acquired.
Yeah, I'm gonna send him a link to this episode. I know I still have his contact info somewhere.
So we have
I
a
like
Jedi
Kit Fisto.
Mon Calamari.
I like Kit Fisto.
He's cool.
Yeah,
He is.
he's a good one.
They just made a hot toy of him. Like finally.
Yeah. And David, his obsession with Jar Jar.
I want to see Jar Jar in the current time. Yeah. We don't know how long those crazy Naboo people live. Gungans. Naboo people. I'm fine. I'm just tired.
I think we're all really tired. I was in Atlantic City and I got back last
yeah.
night. Not late in the day, but after we saw Cyndi Lauper again.
I
Me
saw.
and my friend Adriana. It was the closing night of the American leg of the farewell tour. So this was like Goodbye America. And
She-Bop.
so it was great. Yeah, she opens with She Bop. She closes with Girls Just Want to Have Fun. She does like 18 hit songs. Like it was fantastic. And then after that, because it's Atlantic City, it's the off season, but it was very Christmassy, and so all the Christmas pop-ups were there, and we just had a really nice time. We also got some big girl drinks. Let me tell you, we got like the 24 ounce. It was like this big, and then you get a refill for like $16 or something. And I was like, may as well. So we had our drink for the show, and then a drink on the way. We're just walking around with our 16-ounce cups at 30-degree weather, hopping from
course.
casino to casino,
Yeah.
Christmas bar to Christmas bar. But it was really fun. Oh,
Hey,
wouldn't you know, David Accord's in this episode.
Yeah.
He plays a droid. Okay, so here's the cast for this episode. As you guys know, you probably know already, Phil Lamar plays Kit Fisto. He's
Mhm.
not just Bail Organa. And
Lovely man. We met him.
amazing. We love him. He's fantastic. Tom Kenny is back. He actually plays Nadar Veb, who's
This
the
cute little Mon
Padawan.
Calamari.
Yeah, he's the Padawan of Kit Fisto. Matthew Wood is General Grievous. D. Bradley Baker is the Clone Troopers. Corey Burton is here as Count Dooku. Ahsoka, we saw earlier, obviously played by Ashley Eckstein. Olivia Diabo is back as Master Luminara. We have Mace Windu, played by T.C. Carson, who we also met at Rhode Island Comic Con very
Yeah.
recently. And as always, Tom Kane, who does the narrator. And I think Yoda is going to pop in as well. So
he
it's a good
put
cast.
out an Instagram video of him, like I guess his family gave him a Yoda Christmas sweater, and he was really
Aw.
excited about wearing it. So check out his Instagram. It's in the stories. It's adorable.
Love Tom Kane. And as I was saying last week, I know he's not really signing anymore, but his autographs are also all over eBay and everything else from my days is having him sign autographs at Topps, along with
Ooh.
David Accord's. This is now officially a David Accord Stan channel
Yep.
because Alan White announcement. We're going to love Stinky at this point now. We're going to need to get him. Not that I still work there, but now I'm going to get him to sign something as Stinky.
I'm calling out
Yeah.
David O'Neill for blaming his own obsession on his daughter. This is getting pretty sad, Dave.
Yeah. This is, it says memes obsession with Jar Jar. Sorry. You can't hide behind your kids, Dave. Sorry.
Nope.
Oh, look, it's Dooku.
hmm
I just got a little bit of a mail call, but I haven't unboxed them to inspect them yet. I got my Balin Skull Hot Toys figure
Ooh.
in, and
Cool.
because he was almost sold out, and I'm pretty sure Hot Toys will never make another one, I had to get the 40th anniversary Lando Calrissian figure. So I have a Lando to go with my Han whenever he shows up. Oh, this is dark. So that's what Grievous was. That's the alien species that Grievous was. They look like little sand people mummies, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's the definition of more machine than man.
Yeah. He was the leader of these people. Like he was something that they looked up to. And he was kidnapped and experimented on, and that's what he became. It's so creepy. All those
Mhm.
masks and all those body parts, and you realize like he's alive under this. Like it's all interchangeable.
And Dooku is using him as fodder to
Yeah.
play with the Jedi. Let me send him in there. Let me trick him into getting caught.
So dark. Dave says it is memes. I'm here getting the side eye for mentioning her on TV. We need more Grievous backstory. Yeah, we do, Dave. These must be trophies taken from the Jedi he's murdered. So it's all Jedi braids. That's so creepy. It's like Wookiee braids with the Mandalorians, like with Boba Fett and the bounty hunters. This is like throwing the Padawan into like a dangerous trap with Grievous, because Grievous literally kills Jedi for funsies and
Yeah.
collects their
But the
stuff.
Padawan is sort of running in without thinking about it. He's a little too reckless. So this is like
He's
the
a little
dangers of being
Anakin.
reckless. Yeah, exactly. A little too Anakin.
A little too Anakin, and oh, the ship that Obi-Wan stole in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. It even looks like a Grievous face. Like it looks like a Grievous mask. So he doesn't know they're there.
So there's a lot going on at the box office that I want to talk about too.
Yeah.
Moana 2 was a giant hit last week, and it's
Yeah.
continuing. It's still number one at the box office. Wicked is still performing incredibly well. Gladiator 2 is making good money, and Paul
Golden
Mescal was just on.
Globes for
Yeah.
Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. So that's
Yeah,
awesome.
some good nominations. Catherine Hahn got nominated. Oh yeah, I should mention
Yeah.
all the Golden Globe nominations came out. So there's a lot going. We're in the start of award season now, where the nominations are going to start coming out between now and the end of the year, and then this upcoming weekend. What do we have this weekend? See, I lost my train of thought about what
War of the Rohirrim.
Oh yeah, the Lord of the Rings movie.
Rings. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Sonic comes out next week or the week after.
Yeah.
So there's still a couple more
The
things
22nd.
before.
Yep.
Oh, is it that late?
Some good Christmas movies.
Yeah.
You gotta have something to go watch on Christmas.
Yeah.
My father was a huge movie fan, and the Christmas that I got to spend with him, we'd always go see, go hang with the family, and then we'd go see a movie that night.
Oh, yay.
What is everyone doing for Christmas this year? I realize that Thanksgiving just happened, so it feels ridiculous to be planning
Thanksgiving was
Christmas.
late this year.
Yeah, it's the latest, physically the latest it can be.
This is the first time we see them hack off Grievous's body parts, and he's still chaotic. He's literally jungle gymming through the hallway here. Yeah, sorry, distracted by the actual episode.
Mm-hmm. It's a good episode. It's the highest rated one so far. It's got an 8.1 on IMDb, and everything before this was significantly lower. Oh, yeah, Sherry, you're right. He is not a Padawan anymore. This is a Jedi Master. It was his former Padawan, and Kit Fisto missed the trials. Oh, he's a Jedi Knight. And it sounds like because of the war, Kit Fisto missed the trials. And that should tell you just how far the Jedi have fallen from their standard tradition and processes. Imagine being the teacher for all this stuff, and then you miss the big test and whatever else because stuck on some fucked up moon trying to fight some battle droids. It's those little details that just make it that much more tragic.
Agreed. Yeah.
Dave, I agree. I would like to see more Grievous. I'll text Matthew Wood and ask him.
Make it happen, Matt.
Let's go.
Or the early story, his prequel.
Yeah, that would be an interesting Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Sith. I know we sort of did Dark Side Users last time around with Tales of the Empire, but if we got a little more on Dooku's early life, which I know we also got in Tales of the Jedi, but like early Grievous would be cool. Early Maul would be cool. I know we have a lot of Maul content post episode 1, but early Maul would be interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited for Christmas. Just going to my sister's house with everybody and actually ordering family platters and spending it with everybody.
Yeah, it's always nice. My mother-in-law arrives on Thursday. So Jason took off work. Of course, I'm off Friday and Monday. So this week actually. So she'll be in town Thursday to Tuesday, and we've got all sorts of Christmassy stuff planned, including going to see the Rockettes, going to the
Wow.
Christmas tree, doing all that fun stuff. Oh, sorry.
You're gonna knock me out.
I know. I'm sorry. We're all a little bit. We all had busy weekends. That's for sure. Yeah, Mondays are hard. I'm also swamped at work. Last week I had a huge presentation that went very well, and I'm thrilled that it went well. But it's over, thankfully. But
Congrats. Yeah.
next week we have to get all of our stuff packed and organized for Halloween and Party Expo onto the truck. And that's where it's like, oh my God, I have so much to do between now and then. And then it's like Christmas. It's like that fast.
That's so crazy. I went to Spirit Christmas. They have one in an old Christmas tree shop here.
Oh, nice.
And it's actually really cool. I know it's like owned by Spencer's and it has a lot of the same like ugly sweaters that Spencer's has, but there's like all sorts of like really cute decorations and party platters and just things to like decorate your house with and gifts. And so I did that yesterday with Alan and his son EJ. So that was really cool. Oh, he's like some kind of evil game master right now. He's just messing with them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, who's Gore? And then it's this thing. Yep, it's worse. Dang. Dang. Oh, we don't get to see him without the mask.
Ouchie.
It's some good action.
Yeah. And I love Fisto's fighting style.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
he's
poor
one of
clone.
he's one of those secondary Jedis that get some good development in the Clone Wars,
Hey.
and Phil Lamar does a nice job bringing him to life.
Right.
Oh wow, that was brutal.
So brutal.
Girl, that was dark.
Hi, Daniel.
Oh, interesting. Interesting bit of philosophy changing over here.
Mm-hmm.
Is the war's changing? Didn't I say this last week that the war's changing people and it
Yeah.
was like making you face your philosophies head on? Like that was the whole conflict of Luminara's teachings. And I can't imagine the PTSD it would have brought to someone like her, an academic, someone who like really believes in the light side of the force, someone who's just like very much like the A student, and someone who is someone who studies and cares about the teachings of the Jedi, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, let me go figure out this tactical military mission. This Mon Calamar is definitely, I mean, this is, he is a walking example of like what not to do, where he's like, oh, I'm gonna go take revenge and things have changed because of the war. This is your warning to the audience, you know. Yeah, it's not gonna end well for him.
Nope.
Yeah, he's our cautionary tale.
It's rather interesting relationship between him and Dooku.
Grievous just hanging up on him is so passive aggressive. I love that. Yeah, it's interesting because Grievous is not a Sith apprentice. He's just a military leader. So he's sort of outside that like Palpatine dynamic, but he does seem to have a direct line to Darth Sidious quite a bit. And certainly in the third movie, he's second in command because Dooku's dead after Dooku dies, I guess. But yeah, I guess here it's almost like Vader and Tarkin, where they're in different streams, but both report into the Emperor. It's like different lines on the org chart, but they like to fight it out.
It's like a mad doctor going on here.
Yeah. Oh boy.
This ain't gonna end well.
Nope.
Do you remember him in the rest of Clone Wars? I don't.
He doesn't make it out of this. He might make it out of this episode, but he doesn't make it out of this.
I couldn't remember whether it was actually the end of this episode or next one, but his time span in the Clone Wars is coming to a very quick halt.
Yeah, it's short. I can't remember if we had Tom Kenny sign as this character, or if we just had him, because he's played numerous other characters. I can't remember now.
No, that would be this episode.
Yep. So much for that. Girl. How do you deal with like all the spin?
Yeah.
Like, how do you fight that?
Just. He got his lightsaber back. Not like, Grievous was hurting for lightsabers.
Yeah, it's only down to 3.
Oh no. Sorry, guys. I was up at 3:45 today.
And Skip was in Disney. I was in Atlantic City. We all had an exhausting weekend.
Yeah, we're just generally.
I'd offer toothpicks to everybody to keep their eyes open.
I know.
Yeah, give me a hard time, Dave. I can still tell you what's going on in the story.
That's right.
Yeah, we're watching.
Oh, you're not gonna get your Padawan's body? What the shit? I hate that.
Well, one of them has.
So there's room for improvement.
Mm-hmm.
I love that line.
Oh, so rude.
There's your performance evaluation for the year. Needs improvement. Meanwhile, back at the temple.
Power for power.
Yeah, but you don't even know what the Jedi way is anymore. Come on, Yoda.
Yeah. Don't make me get all angry about Yoda. That's a whole other rant. We've done this on this channel a few times. Well,
he let the house burn around him without ever calling the fire department.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, thank you, Tom Kenny, for
Yeah.
doing a good job with that character. Phil Lamar really carried that episode. He was terrific. And the man of the hour, David Accord. Who knew this was going to be David Accord's big episode over here with us
For
on Clone
real.
Wars Revisited? Because he's also in Rebels, and we've talked about him in the past. But now he's like super top of mind for me. So, not that I don't love Jeremy Allen White. I don't want to get it twisted. I don't understand what's happening. And I will say, every now and then, like I have to ask myself if I'm being crazy, right? And so I
Yeah.
need to like bounce this off of someone.
Yeah.
And I knew that it was weird when Alex from Star Wars Explained put up a quick video being like, "What the hell's going on?" And I watched his video. It was like 5 minutes long, and he's like, "We just got the weirdest announcement. Why is this man playing this character? What's happening here?" And he was like, and then he started talking about all things Jabba and the Hutts and the other Hutts and all this stuff. And he's like, "This just seems strange. I don't even know if it's real." But then he's
For
like,
real.
multiple channels have reported on this. So I don't know. Anyway, excellent episode of Clone Wars. I really feel like season 1 is finding a stride. We're 10 episodes in, which is crazy to say out loud that like 10 episodes in, we're finding our stride. Like this is how it used to be with television, where you'd have to give a season like a chance to breathe. 22 minutes.
Well, we always think of this show as a Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka show, and we've had a little bit of them, but not a lot of any of them so far.
Yeah. I mean, I think George's idea was that we're going to fill in like all of these gaps, and there's plenty of Anakin in episodes 1, 2, and 3, right? Like he's all over the prequels. Ahsoka's barely in it. They only use Ahsoka and Luminara at the start of the episode to connect to like the prior episode with Asajj and
she's
everything.
practically not in this.
Yeah, it's really like, oh, here's like a tiny bit of like not even glue. It was like here's some Velcro to just like connect these two episodes right quick. Like you could have had it or not, but this was definitely a standalone adventure with Matthew Wood as Grievous, who's spectacular as always. We love him. He's also a sound editor at Lucasfilm. He's like the sound editor at Lucasfilm. Multiple Academy Award nominations, all sorts of awards won. And then, as always, D. Bradley Baker playing the clones. But Phil and Tom were excellent. You know, just tremendous. All right, let's talk about, you know what we didn't do is we didn't talk about Skeleton Crew. So let's do that for 5 minutes and then tell everyone what's going on the network.
Well, just before we came on, I went out and grabbed some dinner, and I was sitting at the local Mexican place. And so I turned on Skeleton Crew, the first episode, and I was watching it. And you know what my impression was watching that? This is not a kid's show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were killing people and destroying people, and it was, I think, and then you add the whole component of these people are hiding out on this planet, and nobody knows where they are or who they are, and some of them know that they're hidden, and some of them don't know that. Like the kids are keenly not aware of their place. I thought, wow, all this Goonies talk. I started thinking, it was a show that was more aligned with the 10 to 15 crowd, and I'm like, no, this is a dark, scary story.
Yeah,
but that's how really Goonies starts off. Like the Fratellis and everything; those are terrifying people. Like they threaten to kill like poor little Chunk.
But I like it. I mean, I think it's well done. I like the storyline. I like the interactions, the cinematography, the everything about it so far. I'm kind of enjoying.
Yeah. I remember when I said there was something nefarious going on with that home planet based on the description,
Yep.
and then it seems like no one knows where this planet is from, and they're using these old-timey Old Republic credits. Like there's definitely something creepy happening, and that woman in the cape who's like that low rent Mon Mothma, who isn't Mon Mothma.
I was like, that's
Um,
not Mon Mothma, is it? And it was.
mm-mm,
So
no, I think she's cosplaying as someone like her. Here's my thought: Are these kids kidnapped to become First Order? Are they all secretly working for remnants of the Empire?
well, it says
Um,
New Republic.
yeah,
So
but I
this
don't
is
trust that for a second. Like, I think
Well,
that
so
there's something
this is
really
like
nefarious
this
happening.
is like in the Mando time. So if they're saying this
Sarah,
is the
you
New
need to go back.
Republic,
Sarah
Yeah, but
needs to go back and watch the first 5 minutes again, and then tell me how it's not dark.
I think that
Because that's what I did. I watched it. I was like, my memory was not of this dark, kill him, slice him up, shoot him in, I mean, they were taking, it is Star Wars, so they were taking aim at not showing too much gore, but they were definitely killing people left and right.
oh yeah, that opening with all the kills and everything, there were
Yeah.
plenty of people killed. Look, it's a dark show. Like, their kids are the leads, but it's not a kid show necessarily. But it's also not so adult that it's inaccessible for kids. It actually reminds me of like E.T. and the Goonies and all that kind of stuff, right?
hmm
Um, I do think something nefarious is happening on their home planet in a big way. Like, I think that they're all being lied to.
yeah,
Obviously, that barrier is man made, not a natural occurrence. They're being hid from the rest of the galaxy, which is why I think they're either um, Imperial remnants or some other type of
they're a
secret.
little
Like,
too like organized for me. Like the fact that you have to pass a test
mhm,
to tell you what you're gonna do with your
it's
life.
very Imperial. Yeah.
It's very Imperial.
And maybe even First Order. And I'm telling you, that cold, icy Mon Mothma clone, maybe
Yeah,
there's cloning happening there. I mean, like
yeah,
literally cloning. Like there's all sorts of stuff um, yeah, there's all sorts of creepy stuff. I'm reading the comments. Yeah, there's definitely some um, A New Hope vibes in that opening scene, which makes you then go to um, it makes you think of like what could be happening. And I think that they are an Imperial remnant. And all the adults are lying to these kids.
yeah,
And like that mural that has the founders of their land or whatever is also part of like the lore, the lie. The lore is a lie.
yeah. It's a little too convenient to have a hidden
Yeah.
starship and the dad not be like terribly concerned about his son's well-being, even though he lost
Mhm.
his wife. Like he's like, I have to get back to work.
Yeah. The
And it's
wife
like,
spoke up and was pushed into a Sarlacc pit or something,
yeah,
like about
that's what I was
something.
thinking.
So Sarah, the great work. I did see on another YouTube channel that it is a High Republic phrase, and I'm sure Jamie's ears must have gone up like this. I think they're bastardizing whatever the great work is, and I think that they are lying about it. I don't think that they're referencing High Republic in a true way, and I don't think that they are New Republic. I think that they are a planet of villains of some
Yeah,
type. It's a rogue thing.
it's awful sketchy.
That's my
You're
suspicion.
stretching it.
Yeah.
Oh, Stretch Armstrong over here is really reaching for something.
Spencer says it's
I don't
Stepford.
think it's a big stretch. I think that I don't trust anything that's happening. I don't trust one of those adults. Why are all of the droids recording everything? Why do they look like cameras?
Yeah, why are they
I
stopping
wouldn't
kids
trust any
in
of
the
those
woods from having
characters
fun?
either. I wouldn't trust any of those characters either, but I don't think that they're criminals. I think, Sarah's right. It's isolationism. They're trying to hide, so that people will leave them
But the
alone.
fact that the girl on the pirate planet says that you're from At-Atten, the
Mhm.
treasure planet, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, is this gonna be like Captain Silvo, Long John Silver kind of thing? I really, and I mentioned this in our chat. There's a clip, like a quick little thing where these boys go by and they're harassing the girls and they're like fixing their speeder bike and um, KB goes, "Oh, I'm not gonna race Baj Falfa," and Harrison Ford's character in American Graffiti is Bob Falfa. So it's a nice little throwback to Lucas and the early days of Lucasfilm. So it's pretty cool.
Yes. Oh my God, Sherry, it's the Serenity Miranda cover up. We were
Oh,
just. I'm telling you, this place is Miranda. I actually screamed that.
yeah.
I was like,
That's brilliant.
someone watched
Yeah,
Firefly and made this show and the Serenity movie. It is exact. Sherry, you and I are on the same wavelength tonight. Let me tell you.
absolutely.
Mark my
Now.
words
Yep.
now, because remember when I read last week at the start before our episode last week, I was like, "There's something nefarious about this planet, and that is the thing." Yeah, Dave, you guys are right on. It is.
Yeah. Well, yes, we
I
talked
should have
about that.
mentioned Unifying Force talked about this. That I can't believe, but weirdly, no other Star Wars channels are talking about it, and even New Rock Stars didn't mention Serenity, and it's like, what the hell? It is
We're
the
that
reference. Yeah.
good.
So, yeah, not the episode, Spencer. Banned and yeah, blocked and reported. By
No.
far our best watch along of the year, without a doubt. Spencer's like, "What's the timestamp?" That'll live on
Just
forever.
saying. Just saying.
Meanwhile, we are over time, but we did cover a lot tonight. We
Yeah.
should talk about, though, just a couple quick things to note on the network. Um, of course, we are getting ready for 2025. There's only a few weeks left in the year, and there's a lot of huge stuff happening in 2025, but nothing more exciting than all things related to Star Wars Celebration. And that's happening in Japan in April. We are doing our own event as well around this called the Not So Virtual Cantina for everyone who hasn't heard about it. It's another special edition event on Thursday, April 17th, 2025, out in Japan. Tickets are on sale, which is
Meow.
super exciting. And we want to thank our sponsor, Hyperspace Props. They sponsored our family vacation, and they are back once again to sponsor the Not So Virtual Cantina meetup, which is very cool. There's going to be sabacc playing and all sorts of other fun
Yeah.
stuff from Mike and Emily. And you can check out their website to see all of their awesome gear and all the accoutrements you need to play the games. There's a bunch of different versions now, so you got to
Yeah.
get all sorts of different chips and things.
So make sure you enter the code to get 10% off.
Mhm.
So
And
Dave, who's yeah? I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I was like, so Dave, who is the special guest on Thursday?
Oh, who is it? It is
Is it
Kevin
Kevin?
Thompson. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
We had
was a
2 guests
dialect
last week.
coach.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he's sort of credited throughout. The episodes 1 and 2, we had 2 guests last week, including Marty, who played Vane, the pirate captain who's back from Mando onto Skeleton Crew, which is awesome. And I also heard that there's an Easter egg in the pirate planet that oh my God, Hondo's ship was there.
Oh,
In the graphics. Who knows? Some channel said that. I couldn't pick it out of a lineup. So it's the kind of thing where I'll just trust them on that. I would love to see Hondo at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll have a new guest on the watch along this Thursday. Kevin Thompson's going to be there, VCN Hall of Famer, which is very exciting.
Ewok extraordinaire.
Yes, and now part of the Mandoverse. And then the rest of the week, Ashley, what's going on Wednesday? We have a great show on Daughters.
Wednesday, we are going through the Star Wars stuff that we love here in 2024. It's kind of our last episode before 2025 kicks off. So Jamie and I are going to be discussing that. We'll also be discussing a little bit of Skeleton Crew. Obviously, pick our brain on that, and just talk about everything that happened this year in Star Wars and things that we got to experience and that we rate highly. So join us at Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for Daughters of the Galaxy.
It's going to be a good one. We have so much happened in Star Wars in 2024.
We have a list.
Yeah. And then, as we already mentioned, Thursday is the watch along for Skeleton Crew episode 3.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, yeah. Marty knows that we all want to see Hondo. There's a Skeleton Crew after show as well with Mike and Bryce and John, so be sure to check that out on Fridays. And then last week we had Unifying Force talking about Skeleton Crew. This Sunday will be the Jedi Archives, and they are not talking Skeleton Crew. They're doing the High Republic #7, the Evacuation Run. So High Republic is rolling on the comic side.
Boy.
Yeah, and of course
check
tomorrow's
John
happy
Jamie.
hour. So
make sure she's okay.
yeah, exactly. We're looking at what's coming for Star Wars in 2025. There's a lot of publishing still, even though there's no movie and only one TV show really confirmed. So publishing, I think, is still going to be a major focus for the brand next year.
For
And with
real.
that in mind, we do have something new to announce on our show tonight. We are going to be doing something that's become something of a tradition here on the network. Our New Year's Day Zoom with everyone, not Zoom, that it'll be one of these. It'll be a live broadcast.
Yeah.
We'll be talking what we're looking forward to most in 2025 for Star Wars, and a little bit of look back on what some of our favorite moments were from 2024. We are going to be more future forward. What's coming in 25. Obviously, we've got Andor, we've got a new season of Visions, we've got quite a bit of publishing, Star Wars Celebration. We'll talk about Japan and
Not
what
so
we're doing as
virtual
a network.
cantina. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much to it. So that will be a pre-record, but it will be airing on Wednesday, January 1st. What a stupid day for a New Year's.
Don't they know New Year's is on Sunday? Come on. I
Christmas is
always
a
feel like it's
Wednesday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Don't get
Thanksgiving
me
was.
started.
I know it's so frustrating.
I
Thanksgiving
lose
was.
so much time because it's in the middle of the week.
It's awful.
Meh.
Yeah. Wednesday Christmas is dumb. Wednesday New Year's is dumb. Thanksgiving being this close to Christmas is dumb. This whole holiday season is a wreck.
Yeah.
It's really only 3 weekends in between, but yeah, either way, we're gonna do our best over here on the network and
Always
have
do.
a lot of fun with you guys.
Yeah. And we really appreciate you guys joining us tonight. I was tired, exhausted citizens of the Republic.
Yeah, the three of us are hanging on to this Republic by the skin of our teeth. Yeah,
We totally are.
it's like, whoa.
Hey, at
And
least I
Skip
didn't
went to
snore.
work after he got back from Disney. He went to work,
Mhm.
kids. Like,
Yep.
don't usually you have like Disney depression by now, but
Yeah,
no.
you should be
Oh, got
trashing.
that. Just working through it, keeping my mind busy.
It's a
Aw.
good plan. Oh boy.
All
All right.
right,
Well,
guys.
thank you everyone who came to join us tonight. We really appreciate it. And then make sure you check out all the content I just mentioned on the network this week and join us next week for a new episode of Star Wars Clone Wars. It's also a good one. Episode 11 is supposed to be really good. Skip's
Yeah.
boss is an asshole. So I've heard.
Shout out
I'd
to
like to
Taylor
confirm
Swift. Yeah, shout out to Taylor Swift for finishing her 2 years of the Eras tour. We love you, Taylor. We're Swifties here on the network. Just so you know. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us, and we shall see you next week.
Long live the Republic. Night,
These are
guys.
not the droids that you're looking for.
No, just tired ones.